Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. Sunday, December 28th, ISIS lost yet more ground to Kurdish fighters in the embattled city of Kobani in northern Syria. Government security forces fighting alongside Shia militias began their assault on the town of HalleluYah on the Tigris River, 45 miles north of Baghdad, with raids by Iraqi helicopter and fighter jets. Fighters from Nigeria's homegrown Boko Haram extremist group attacked 5 villages in Cameroon near its northern border with Nigeria for 3 days before they overran the military base in that same area. On Monday, December 29th, Cameroon's government launched its first ever airstrikes against Nigerian Islamic extremists to dislodge about 1,000 fighters who had seized a Cameroonian military base. Forces loyal to Libya's officially recognized government carried out airstrikes on targets in Misrata, the first such attacks on that city. Officials and residents said that the airstrikes were targeted on allies of an armed group that seized the capital, Tripoli, in the summer. Next, on Wednesday, December 31st, after Sunday's assault, Iraqi forces recaptured the northern town of HalleluYah. Almost 300 ISIS fighters were killed in the battle. Pakistani forces targeted 12 Indian posts late Wednesday night along the international border in Jammu and Kashmir at an area where cross-border firing killed an Indian Jawan and 4 Pakistani soldiers hours before. This is the third ceasefire violation by Pakistan in 2 days. Then the Somali National Army captured the strategic town of Dainoune from the militant group Al-Shabaab. The small town, which is 45 kilometers outside Baidoa, was a stronghold of the group for over 2 years. At least 30 Houthi rebels were killed in a suicide bomb attack at a gathering in Ib city of central Yemen, while fighting in Rada'a district killed at least 34 others. Then on Thursday, January 1st, at least 11 people were killed and 6 others were injured in Cameroon when Boko Haram militants opened fire on a bus late Thursday. The attack took place in Waza, a region bordering northeast Nigeria. The operation to liberate Sinjar, a town just east of Mosul, which was started by Kurdish Joint Forces of Defense on December 19th, is still continuing. The People's Defense Forces, Sinjar Command, and Sinjar Resistance Units General Command reported in a written statement that clashes erupted Thursday afternoon after the forces noticed and interrupted a group of ISIS members that attempted to attack the areas held by Kurdish forces. On Friday, January 2nd, at least 19 people were killed by Syrian rebel fire on government-controlled parts of the northern city of Aleppo. The dead included at least 5 children, 3 of whom were killed with their mother when a rocket hit the car they were in. On Saturday, January 3rd, ISIS soldiers and militants in Iraq captured 170 youths from 2 villages located in the Iraqi city of Kirkuk. There was a massacre of soldiers in Libya, killed by a group of armed militants. At least 17 soldiers and 1 civilian were killed in an attack against a checkpoint in the central district of Jafra. On Sunday, January 4th, Islamist militants overran an army base in the remote northeast Nigerian town of Baga, and Al-Shabaab claimed yet another deadly attack in Mogadishu, Somalia. Psalm 83 is rearing its head. I quote from verses 2 through 4. Look, your enemies make an uproar, and those hating you, meaning those who hate Yahweh, Abba Father, have lifted up their head. They craftily plot against your people and conspire against your sheltered ones. They have said, come, let us wipe them out as a nation, and let the name of Israel, Yisrael, be remembered no more. Close quote. Hezbollah's executive council, Chief Sheikh Nabil Kaouk, said that Hezbollah is preparing for the next confrontation with Israel, in which thousands of Sunnis will join the Lebanese inflamed terror group, according to the Lebanese news site, the Daily Star. Quote, Hezbollah's response to Israel's bet on Sunni Shiite strife is this: the resistance is preparing for the next war with Israel, and thousands of our Sunni brothers in Lebanon will be among the ranks of the resistance. Close quote from Kaouk. He said this during a Hezbollah ceremony in Sidon. Also, a leading publishing house, HarperCollins, which is a subsidiary of Collins Bartholomew, has just mass published a new atlas to be distributed throughout the Middle East in schools and elsewhere, which has Israel removed from it. Psalm 83 again. Let the name of Israel be remembered no more. It has Jordan and Syria extending all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. They say the reason for doing this is that including Israel would be unacceptable to their customers in the Gulf states. We are in the Shemitah year, my friends, and the U.S. debt is now more than $18 trillion. Stock markets opened lower on the first day of trading in 2015. The credit markets that forewarned the 2007 crash are showing signs of strain, and the FTSE 100 slid on the first day of trading in 2015. For 5 years, investor fear of risk has been drugged into drowsiness by repeated injections of quantitative easing. This lack of fear has led to a world where price and risk have become estranged. And as credit conditions are tightening in the U.S. and in China, the law of unintended consequences will hold sway in 2015 as investors wake up. The so-called fear index, which measures volatility, spiked to 18.4 last Friday, a sizable amount above the average of 14.5 recorded last year. And that's the news for this week. Stay safe, and Abba willing, I'll see you here next week. Shalom, my friends.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath the naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.